Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thanks for being here today. A large portion of our presentation today will be online, and you will see me demonstrate uh, the setup of a Read Live account kind of from the beginning. Many of you might be administrators, so you have full access. So we'll go through this. So we'll set up students, we're going to set up schools, staff members. We'll talk about adding students, rostering through an import. And everyone will receive a recording of the webinar at the end. Give us 24 hours and we'll send that out to you. Feel free to stop and play it back here and there, pause where you need to. It can be a lot to take in all at once. If I'm going too fast or if you have any questions, please reach out. Okay, let's get started. The agenda and the processes I am demonstrating.
River Trails 26 calling for technical support queue conference call.
Follow along with the handout that was emailed to you, and also will be in the chat for this meeting today. So use it. It's a great takeaway. If you don't remember everything that you've learned, you can always go back to this. So the agenda, we'll talk about our suite and the products that you have access to. We're going to talk about logging in, adding schools, adding staff members, adding students individually and importing, licensing students, and we'll briefly touch on our rostering and single sign-on options. And then finally at the end, some teacher tools that you can take away and use at your leisure. Our 30-year commitment to students and teachers has led to innovative programs and possibly some confusion when it comes to Read Naturally. Read Live, Read Naturally Live. So let's break it down. Read Naturally Inc. or Read Naturally Incorporated is our company. It's founded in 1991 and still overseen by Candace and her husband Tom, as well as many other committed family members. We've been dedicated to the success of students and teachers for over 30 years. We've dedicated to building foundations for brighter futures with a variety of flexible and tailored programs. Read Live is an online suite of programs that utilizes the science of reading to deliver measurable results for struggling and developing readers of all ages. With your subscription, one license gives your students access to 4 applications. Read Naturally Live, our flagship application and firstborn, is designed to improve reading fluency, promote vocabulary, and support comprehension. Content includes material for early 1st grade to 8th grade students. Word Warm-Ups Live is Read Naturally's research-based phonics intervention. Its audio-supported lessons allow individualization of phonics instruction and enable students to work independently. This content includes 3 levels, 1, 2, and multi-syllabic words. 1 Minute Reader Live is an independent structured reading activity for developing readers. Content is geared toward early 1st grade readers to mid 5th grade readers, and students read independently without teacher support and is not, though, considered an intervention. And finally, Read Naturally Live Español. The entire student Read Naturally Live interface is delivered in Spanish for bilingual learners. Content contains levels 1.0 to 5.6. So right now I'm going to switch over to a demonstration. I'm going to log into a demonstration account, and we're going to start setting it up. So here I am on my staff member login page. If hopefully you can see this well. I am logging into my account. You've all been assigned an account ID. My user ID has been generated. Generally is first initial, last name. and you will have instructions. You may have already set your own personal password. So I'm logging in. I am an administrator. I have orientation and resources that I could direct teachers to. This shows what students need to do or what staff members need to do working through students. So step one, adding schools. Step two, add students. And then finally working with students. We are going to start at the add schools and staff members. Just going to click the home page. I apologize for my wiggly mouse. So this is the staff member landing page. This is where teachers and staff members, administrators will use to monitor progress, set up the account, and based on your role within Read Naturally Live, you will have a different set of tiles that you see. If you're not sure of your role, you can click your name, always listed in the upper right corner, my profile, and your role is an account administrator, so I know who I am. As an administrator, the first three tiles are set up. So we'll start with our account and school administration. Schools in your account need to be created manually or individually. So again, administrators, account and school administration is where you're going to go. My account, I've already added a number of schools, but a brand new account is going to show up as a new school. So we'll call it your district name more likely, or your school name, and then you're going to see my school. We have to start with something. So we start with that this one says new school, yours will say my school. You would just click on it and you're just going to edit that name and type what you would like to see on your reports. So you just want to type in the name of your school. Save and close. I'm going to mention right here, as you well maybe know or don't know, you purchase licenses for students to use in the account. A student can't work without a license. So there are X number of licenses assigned to every account. If you have multiple schools within your account, you can reserve a specific number for each school, meaning no matter what, School A will have 10 licenses and School B will have 15. The other option is to that school can use any available. So let's say you have 3 schools and you have 50 licenses. Any school can use any license at any time. And if School A uses all 50, School B and C don't have any. So that's the way it goes. First come, first serve on schools can use any available. Save and close if you made any changes. Again, so this is your list of schools. If you have a new school to add or multiple schools, you'll click add school, name your school, decide what you want to do with your licenses, and save and close. Another way to navigate our staff module, the home icon will take you to the home page. Also, the navigation in the upper left, the 3 lines, will take you anywhere that the home page will take you. Account and school administration is where we are, so it's grayed out. We're already there. The next step in our process is staff member administration. Again, this is a manual step. You do need to add staff members one at a time. And it is very easy. First name, last name, and email address is really all you need. So I will at the top click add staff member. First name, last name, the role. You can have any number of any role. So if you are an account administrator and you have someone who shares your responsibilities and or is an administrator that wants to have overall access to student progress, you could make them an administrator. School coordinators would be associated with an individual school. full rights, being able to add teachers, staff, and students at a particular school. Teachers have a general role and then become powerful when they become a lead teacher. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, Read Live Assistant. This is an individual that meets with a student on a daily basis, but really has no educational. They walk through the call timings and the past activities. They can't change any levels or goals or anything like that. They can just work on a daily basis. I am going to choose, I'll choose a teacher. I'm going to select my school. This email is the email that we will send the password to. And the user ID does default to first initial last name, but you do have the option to change that if you choose. So I'm going to click save and close because I don't have any others, but you could save more. And now I meant to call him Nate, but I think I called him Neil. Has received an email with instructions and a temporary password to get logged in. So now Neil has access to that staff module as well. So again, this is staff member administration. In the event that a staff member forgets their password, you can always come here if they get to you, or they can call us. You can reset their password and send them a new one if they do forget. The next step in our process is to add students. I am going to use the navigation. Again, the home page would take us to students as well. The 3-line navigation, I'm going to choose student administration because I am an administrator. This is what I see. These are our options for rostering and getting students into the system. I'm going to start out with a individual ad of a student, and then we'll talk through importing students after that, and single sign-on as well. So the first step is adding a student. So we're going to go to student setup. And we already see a list of students here. I want to show you that before a student should ever be added manually, you should search for it first to see if it already exists. And the easy way to do that, any column heading that has these 3 lines in front of it, I'm pointing to them with my mouse, those 3 little lines, I can filter. So I'm going to click on that filter. And I'm going to click on Jones because I don't know if my student named Joan with the last name Jones exists. Well, I have 5 different Jones. So you can decide if any of these are your students, you want to take that student and work with the one that exists. Don't create a new one. Don't start a new one. Don't rename anybody else's because you carry that data over. So then you would want to edit and work with the student that already exists. For right now, we're going to talk about adding. So I am going to, sorry, click add student. Why can't I add? Okay, I'm going to go into a different account because if you haven't already noticed, we have 2-factor authentication in place. And I am logging into an administrator with a different IP address. And so a code was sent to my email. So that's what I just did. I'm doing this because an import was scheduled and I can't add students. So I'm back at student administration, student setup. These again, a list of all existing students. If I want to add individually, I add student, and I will start with my student's first name. Jake Jokes. He is, if you'll notice, the asterisk in front of each field is identifies in a required field. Student ID does not have an asterisk, is not required. Grade is required. School is required if there are multiple schools in your account. Homeroom assignment is not required as well. Student user ID. You are creating this, and this is what the student will use if they are going to log into our web-based application, readlive.readnaturally.com, or if they will be using an iPad to log in. Okay, you're creating this. Can be anything you decide. If you can choose something that they already know, please do that. If not, choose, I would go with like first name. I have this autofill turned on, so this is why that is going wrong for me. I can use J. Jones. We're going to talk a little bit more about email address, but if you want Clever, single sign-on, or ClassLink, we need, or Google, we need an email address, student email address. It's not required, but if you want to do any of those three things, we need that email address. Otherwise, Apple or iPad students or anybody using our web-based login will also use this password. So I'm going to make it the same thing as my user ID. So those two match. I will license this student. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to choose a lead teacher. This is the teacher who has educational responsibilities for the student and decision-making. And then I will choose the applications that that student has access to. Again, one license gives you access to all 4 of these applications. I'm going to add word warmups. The Read Naturally and 1 Minute Reader are come in by default. You can uncheck any combination that you choose, however you choose to do that. No other information is required. I will click Save and Close. So that student has been assigned a license. They've been assigned a lead teacher. They're ready to go and work in Read Live. That is adding a student individually. Now, if you have 40, 50, 60 students right off the bat, you know you need to roster. You can import students. So I'll just show you from the home page, student administration. This time we're going to choose student import. These are the steps. Here is your instruction. I will click importing student data. This is our detailed instructions on how to manage the template and what is acceptable and what is by default and requirements for the values. Also, in this template or in this how-to, we have a template to our Excel spreadsheet. And this is a template, so I'm going to click that. It downloaded. It's just a CSV. Open it. Christy, can you give me a heads up to make sure you can see the spreadsheet?
Can see it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, so this is our spreadsheet. This is the template. I just highlighted my entire spreadsheet. And now I'm just going to click on the crosshairs between cells A and B or columns A and B and double click, which automatically expands each of the column headings. Leave all of the column headings as they are. Don't change or delete or change the names. These are required in the CSV. However, only a few are required. It duplicates the adding an individual student. So first name is required. Last name is required. Grade is required. Student user ID is required. Student password is required. Remember, this is what your students are going to use when they log in on the iPad app or on our web-based browser. So even if you choose to go with single sign-on with Clever or Google, these are required fields. They will be bypassed by your Clever or Google single sign-on, but it is required initially. And again, student ID is not required. Student email is required if you're doing Clever or Google single sign. So just note that it may be beneficial just to add them if you have them for future, if in the event that you need those or you want to use any of those solutions. So our CSV would be, we would take our data from wherever we got it, plug in student first name, last name, grade, their user ID, their password, and their email address. You'll save this CSV file somewhere on your device. I am back to my instructions. I'm going to go just right back here to where our student import was. I've saved that CSV. I know I'm ready to import it. I'm going to browse to it. I'm going to show you a couple of different ones. I'm going to show you one without errors and one with errors, okay? So import without errors. This is a CSV I created. Just going to open it. I'm going to choose the school I want these students to be assigned to. Next. And see, it tells me errors present. And here are my errors highlighted in yellow. All I need to do is hover, and it says this email address exists for another user in Read Live. Student email addresses must be unique. So it tells me what my problem is. I decide how I'm going to fix it. I go back, I'll edit my CSV file, change what I need to change or update or troubleshoot what's going on. So I'll cancel here. Once I've updated that file, I'll browse to it again. This time I'm going to take one without any errors. And I'll open that. I'm going to choose my school. And I'll click next. On it. It's not right. I'm going to go back to my other account. I have I'm going to try that import again. Student administration, student import, browse. I'm going to go without error. Select my school. And here it tells me I don't have any errors. Review. This is what I'm going to import. I'll just click next. Schedule. Clicking yes will proceed with scheduling the import of your file. I'll click yes. And now here's another interesting error. So it tells me that it's already seeing a matching record for this student. And if I hover again over any of the yellow, value for existing student in the account is Foster. So there's another student with that email address, I think, that is using this. And the value is at Northfield Elementary, and the grade is 4. And so it's asking me, do I want to change that? Do I want to update? Or do I want to not import? I'm going to update existing students. Click next. Proceed with import, yes. And it has been scheduled. And this will occur overnight tonight. Tomorrow morning, your students are active in Read Live. The difference here is that when we added students individually, you can assign a lead teacher. When you import students, we don't have the ability to define a lead teacher and a license. So with an import, the students still need to be assigned a license the following day. And I will show you that. So we're going to go into licensing. So we're pretending today is ended and we're back in the office tomorrow. I'm going to go to student setup. I will see that my students were imported. I'm going to, I just want to look at students at Northview Elementary. So I will click Northview and then apply. So now I'm only seeing those students at Northview Elementary. And I want to, any student that is not licensed, those kids are the ones that we need to license. And so from here, I'm going to go to application access. Okay, any teacher, any administrator, any coordinator can choose this application access. I'm going to select my school. And here I have another option to sort by licensed or not licensed. I don't. That's a flaw. Unfortunately, I can't. So we can also sort by lead teacher. So I'm just going to click the column lead teacher, and now I sort everybody together, and I see all the students that aren't licensed. Remember, we need to license a student to give them access. So I am going to select my students. Here's a shortcut for you. To select multiple students, you're going to choose the students box first, check the first box. Scroll if you have to first, or get to your last student's box. Hold your shift key down and click the last student, and that selects everyone in between. So now I'm going to manage access to read live. I can add licenses to selected, which is why I'm here. I'm getting there. I didn't have all my licenses in my account. So I am going to menu. So right now I'm going to unlicense these students so that I can license them back. So it's just a reverse process. I'm going to free up these licenses so that I can assign them to my new students. Real life incident here. So now I'm choosing the students that no longer need a license. Maybe they've moved on, they don't need the program anymore. Manage access to read live. I'm going to remove licenses from selected. Are you sure? Yes. Removing licenses does not delete data, so don't be concerned of that. So now I am back to my unlicensed students. So now I've freed up licenses. 21 students at this school currently have licenses, 20 more licenses are available. So I'll pick a handful of these. Again, I'm going to just click the first one, hold my shift key, click the last. Add licenses to selected. And I'm going to choose the lead teacher at the same time. Say okay. And now these students have been assigned a license and are ready to begin working in Read Live. And that, my friends, is setting up an account and creating students, staff members, schools. At this point, teacher or students would be ready for placement, and you can view those webinars on our training website at readnaturally.com/training. I'll show you here. We have additional support and training at our corporate website, readnaturally.com. And under training, we have all kinds of options. We have a 3-hour online course that you can see, go through. It's free. There's student training guides. We have specific teacher manuals, a really good amount of help here. Also, I want to point out our help page. This is a very concise, easy, couple-minute videos to show you how to set up an account, and it's all right here. How to add schools, reserve licenses, adding staff, and creating teams. Anything you really need to know about Read Live, you'll find on our help page. I think that will end our webinar for today. If you have any questions, please send them through the chat, or you can find us at, you can email us at support@readnaturally.com, or email or call us 1-800-788-4085, option 3 for technical support. We also have some personalized demos and setup help we can offer you. So please reach out. We're here to help you. Enjoy your day, and I hope you have a great one. Thank you.